And so this week is the two chops, but really you can call them a couple things. You can call them the number 3 and 4 of Embrace the Moon, or you can call them chop high and chop low. But basically, we were kind of here last time, and you're going to shift right, toe in, shift left, and lift up the right heel. So that's, I call it high chop, low chop, or Embrace the Moon this way, kind of going horizontal. Okay, so that's the form piece. Again, not too much foot movement, a little bit. So what we had from last time was Lenny was kind of over here, and I've got this whole thing going on. Now, if you can see, if I get this hand to his eyes, I have both hands now. So what I need to do is draw this hand out away from me to elongate it. So I shift to my right, and that elongates it. Now at the same time, the left hand's going to kind of come under here. So what you're going to try to do is rotate his wrist. He's not liking this too much, so he's going to pull his elbows back. And when he does, they shift back. So in other systems, this is called lifting hands. So you can kind of see what you're doing. You're lifting hands just means you're taking the hands and doing something like this. Some variation thereof, either them crossed, right, which you just saw me do, which is like that, you know, or something like this. Anything like that, and then you just take the hands and you lift them. That's all it means. So this is, in the Yang style, you see that very clearly. But for make it easier, you're going to do it this way. On one hand, cross grab, you're going to shift to your right and bring this left hand to his elbow. Here's the lock. And that's the move. The first one is that. This is just against a single grab, not from looking at what we did before last week, but just so you can see it, you know, with your partner really clear. This is that lock. If you want, you have this as an option. The left hand is full, so it's applying the pressure. The right hand's kind of relaxed. But at the same time, you don't want his left fist to hit you, so you want to kind of do that. You need to move him away from you. You don't want him to come close in this case, okay? So that's from the single grab. You can get a release easily by just opening your hand and rotating. That's all you have to do is just rotate it out. That'll get you a release. Okay, so from a punch, we'll look at the same scenario. He just punches with his right to my head, and I'm in this Embrace the Moon over here. Here comes the punch. Here's the block, and there's a rotating block, and here's your strike. And this goes right under to the liver. You can't see it's kind of going that way. Okay, so again, if it's really close, because if Lenny's over here and I'm dealing with someone over here, it's going to come right to my shoulders here, so I just have to rotate it right out. So again, developing that sense of someone behind you you can't see, but you know they're there. So that's from a punch. You can do it on the inside hook too. It works fine if you hook through this left. You see it very clearly. There's a nice break that can happen here too. And then you start to go into the next one and you start to see, oh, that's why you have the next one. It's really a nice combination, 1-2. But we'll do that in a second. And then he grabs me around the waist. And again, I'm in this position. He's going to grab this back leg or this side of my body, my right side. And my elbow can go right into his head. And I'm trying to just put this right under between his traps and his occipital lobe there on his neck. And I'm going to shift to my right, and my left hand's going to kind of scoop under this way. So as I shift to my right, this hand gets full. So this is going to go under his armpit. This is on the back of his head. As I shift, off he goes, like that. So you just catch it and let him go. That's the first one. The next one is a little more interesting, in my opinion. So if we start at the last one, which was this. You still see okay? Yeah. And watch what happens if he gets this hand off with his other hand, which he's allowed to do. So what you're going to do is take that arm and look what you can do with it. So again, it's always action-reaction for us. We never really initiate any attack. We're just dealing with someone attacking us. This is very typical. It's very defensive Tai Chi. It's not really an aggressive art. But you learn how to deal with an aggression in a kind of pacifistic kind of way. That is, you're not really trying to kill him. You're just trying to get him off you. And so, so that's the transition. You can get that in transition. If that's too difficult, you can just have him cross grab with the left. Again, you're going to turn the left palm down and the right hand up. And here's lift hands. You see it very clearly in this one. You're just lifting his body up with your hands. You're lifting him up with your hands. Lift hands. Okay? So that's on the single grab. You can grab with both hands. It works fine. You know, you just have to keep applying the pressure as you need it. You can do an inside grab too. It works fine. You're just going to kind of do it this way. Okay? And you kind of imagine that he's like you're holding a staff or something out your navel, and you just want to keep the staff straight. And that's his arm. If he punches now, so we looked at the right with this chop, and if you look at, he can actually try to punch. If he punches under you, see why the form goes low. So this is the block. If you're just looking at a straight, a low attack with his left, the block's going to look like that. And you're not breaking it in this case, you're just trying to block it. Turn your body out of the punch. So hooks tend to be like this. They'll come under, right? And they're sneaky, so you have to kind of come under too, this way to follow the circle of that punch. Kind of catch it and roll it away. It's a very kind of a specific technique for that kind of low punch, but they do them. And you'll see it in boxing, it's a body punch. So they're very useful, actually. Because, you know, they'll knock your wind out if you don't want to get in trouble. So, don't let that happen. That's one way of dealing with it. It will work on the inside hook too, with his other hand. You just have to kind of catch it in this way. See it? So one hand on the wrist, one hand on the elbow, and you just stop them. So that's the punch. Again, there's a lot more we can do. There's a lot more chin knot in this one. That is, not just do we have this, but we have a whole bunch of other bone locking that can go this way, that way, or this way. So you'll see this one too. If they're coming in with a straight like this, you want to step back, you can just break the arm that way. So if you can get the timing just right and step back, you can break his arm as you step back. And this is still that low chop. So it can work in kind of a tournament type situation. We know how to apply it. Wrestler. So when he comes in, I'm in this kind of position from our last. So he's going for the other leg now. So what I'm going to do is try to rotate my right palm up and my left hand under. See the circle? So what I'm going to do is this arm's on his armpit. This is right armpit. And this is going to rotate his lats. So if you can do it with the head, that's great. You can just do the whole thing right on his head. And that's a really nasty headlock. But it's hard to catch that. So once he's already on there, you won't be able to grab his head. See, it's too close. But you can still shift back and peel up his armpit. And if he's really tight with his right arm and squeezing tight, just poke his armpit real deep with your fingers like that. And then lift this up as you're rotating. So as he goes in, you go in, rotate up, now you go, kind of like that. So you're kind of rolling him off you with that punch. Oh, this right foot's empty, so if he gives you any flack, this right foot, you kind of do that, or that. Okay? So you see the foot on the toe here for that reason, to remind you can kick with it. Okay, push hands version. So over here, right foot forward, both. So this one keep pushing too hard with his left arm, and you have to shift forward and neutralize it straight across. So again, there's the shape. So this right arm, even though you're lifting it, doesn't lift the shoulder. Also doesn't move the shoulder back. You just neutralize it into the ground and push with the left. Now you can actually scoop his ribs with this hand across his body this way, or you can just push the ribs. Either way, we get him to move. Just make sure you don't move the shoulder, because that makes him commit to this. If you move it back, see, then he can still push with that, and you're back to the same old scenario. You just want to neutralize his pressure, and then, okay, give him your pressure from his pressure. Okay, next one. That's the general idea. Next one, he pushes with the other hand. So all I have to do is neutralize this pressure and drop the hand down and out with that. Again, you're going for the ribs. Both of these are kind of for low attacks, relatively. So you have to take, this one's harder actually. You have to take this, actually you can just do it on the arm too. You don't have to use the body. If you don't pull it back, it's fine. But if I do, then he gets that. So what you have to do is just neutralize it into the ground and then just rotate. Keep the pressure through the arm. But I think that's more difficult. Maybe not. I don't know. You try both. The other one is you're going to push this elbow down to get this right arm to come up. See it? Okay. That one's a little tricky.